In my eyes, J.J. McCarthy is the most controversial QB in the upcoming draft class, and in many people's eyes. Some people believe he doesn't have enough tape, while other people dazzle over the raw talent. What makes people love him and other people hate him as a prospect? So one of the first things I'll go into is McCarthy didn't have a lot to do. He didn't have to do a lot in Michigan's offense because of how strong it was. They had a really good run game and a really good um. Well, their receiver group was all right. I want to say really good there, but they did have a good team, so people kind of knock him on that. But I feel like if you did put a weaker QB in that class, like or in that offense, such as a Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt, even, they're not guaranteed to succeed either. So I'm a little bit mixed on McCarthy, but that's just what I think there. And he did show a lot of flashes of elite talent, and that's what people kind of dazzle over that. Oh, he did this good, he did that good, but there was quite a bit that he did not do good. But people just love how raw he is, and that they feel like their team can take him and do whatever with him, and their team can take him and make him into the next big thing. But if he is in the wrong hands, I don't think that's going to happen. And, people did see him as a helper and not a leader in Michigan's championship run. Obviously, he did have a little more of a leadership role, but I mean, as in on the field, he helped guide that team. He wasn't the one to guide that team. As in, kind of like the comparison people say of Brock Purdy, which I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback because he's done more in Kyle Shanahan's offense than Jimmy Garoppolo did, but that's not the topic. But kind of almost a game manager role. And really, you could say that their run game is what managed their game because McCarthy was a little inconsistent in the passing game. Although he was good, right? But just he did kind of manage it, and obviously sometimes he struggled to do that. But a little more of a managing role and not a leading role. And people just believe he isn't ready because of how raw he is. And I kind of happen to agree. I don't think you should take a guy that you're trying to develop in the first round, especially as high as people think. Like, I know it's just rage bait and stuff when people say Washington is going to take him too. It's just the most outlandish thing of all time. And if Washington did that, it would just prove how much of a poverty franchise they are when you have other prospects on the board. I don't think McCarthy will be bad. I just think that if he's not in the right team, in the right system, with the right coach, he's not going to end up as good as people believe. And people believe Bo Nix and Penix shouldn't go first round because of being too old. People think McCarthy is too young for the first round. So it's just kind of like a bit of a mixed bag there, and it's just people just don't know where to stand. Um, I kind of stand in the party that I think that he's not a guy that you should be taking top 10, and that if there's other QBs on the board like May, Daniels, maybe even I'd still I think Bo Nix and Penix might be better right now than McCarthy, but people might like him, like we've talked about because of the raw upside. But that's just people, they think, oh, he's too raw for the first round, but then they're saying, oh, other guys are too old for the first round because they can't develop much more. And I would agree that I believe McCarthy is very raw, and the film shows this. I believe that McCarthy has talent, but is way too raw if given to the wrong coach. And he could end up like a Drew Lock if not in the right situation. We saw Drew Lock in his first season under Rich Scangarello really thrive with the right OC, but then when they fired him, Drew Lock's career kind of tumbled. But if he did have a right coach and a good coach, not like Mahomes, I'm not saying McCarthy is going to be as good as Mahomes, but I'm saying in a situation like that, behind a veteran guy like Alex Smith, with a good coach like Andy Reid, he could end up good, sitting most of the first year. And I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Mahomes. I'm just saying in a similar situation that Mahomes came into. And I believe that that would be the right career path for McCarthy. And I think if rushed into a starting spot, he will fail in the NFL. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. Like it if you enjoyed it, comment whatever feedback you have, and I hope to see you guys around again.